I know I've told you this. I know I've told you. But if you weren't around before the last 385,000 subscribers, then you probably haven't seen it, because I've got like 4,000 videos and 450,000 views. Overall, I saw that the other day. I said, wow, keep going, shooting for 500,000 views. Yeah. This is just a reminder to those who have made it up through the ranks and forgotten what 53 subscribers meant to you one day. You're like, 53, holy cow. And everybody around you lies. And they're like, that's fantastic. You've only been doing this for 18 years? Something like that, you know. Yeah, let's shoot for 500,000 views. The thing is, I don't know if I've ever told you. I'm talking to you latecomers, not Yorn over there, not, geez, I forget everybody's name. There's some guy that lifts a 270-pound stone in one of his videos. He shows up every about 8 months and says something. I'm like, oh, you're still there. Thing is, I don't know. We'll just start this over and act like I've never told this story before. I don't know if I've ever told you that I was a professional wrestler. Look at me. Oh, many people mistake me for The Undertaker. Many people mistake me for Buffalo Bill out of Silence of the Lambs. Many people mistake me for their gay cousin. And I'm like, you're also mistaken. You have no idea what you're looking at, do you? I worked as a professional wrestler for a while. And this does apply to what I'm talking about right now. Let me just read it first. The rats still able to swim are jumping ship. There. We'll get back to that later. I worked in a place with the mentally handicapped. Vocationally challenged is the best way, because some of them were blind, not mentally. They weren't all mentally handicapped. It was, people that were disabled in the eyes of others, if others had eyes, which some of these people didn't, that type of thing. Leslie Lemke shit. He could sit there and play piano all day long, and you'd have Nurse Ratched slapping him with a fucking cane saying, cut it out. Who let him near the piano? They act like Leslie Lemke's a goddamn godsend. But when I was working with a handicap, and that guy that was afraid of Bigfoot got on the piano, and he was a virtuoso, it's just going, Ma, if I ever see Bigfoot, I'm going to run. But he got on the piano, and it was just like, oh my God. It was nothing you would have ever heard anybody play, but it was so perfect. And so I knew not to bite Bill. He could speak, but I didn't know why not to bite Bill. I just never felt a need to bite Bill. But because we had good conversations. They just didn't want him by the piano because, well, nothing like validating a fucking person and letting everybody gather around and enjoy it, which is all anybody was doing. Don't let him near the piano. She's playing with a rig deck, Doc. So this is what it's about. You never bite a verbal. You bite a verbal, somebody's going to show up. No matter how many calm and quiet and detaining and you sit the fuck down excursions you have with some of these people, as long as they're non-verbal, it's okay, it seems. You just go, I don't know. Look around behind you like it was somebody else. There's nobody else here. You talking to me? And so then you bite a verbal, and then they come in and yeah. And it's like, I gotta get out of here. You realize you might be facing prison time for something like this. It's okay. Statute of limitations has got to be long gone by now. What you learn is you reach a crisis situation. Something is going to happen. People talk about a crisis like it's a bad thing. Like, oh no, something terrible is going to happen. No. Not unless you allow it to. We're at a point where something has to happen. It's a crisis. It's something is going to happen. If you do nothing, it's going to be easier for the thing you don't like to happen against you. That's a crisis. But something is going to happen. So, I got to get out of here. You get the fuck out of there. And then you find yourself years down the road just getting back from seeing the fucking Mothman. The Mothman comes before a fucking happening, you know. You have an experience with the Mothman. Something is about to happen that makes your life different. He's not making it different. He's just saying, I'm here. I want you to know it's going to be okay. And as long as you don't overstep his boundaries, he's going to be okay. But don't keep going back for advice, because then he'll be chasing you down the fucking state highway through the woods in your 57 Chevy Bel Air that you were trying to show off how fast it was. Now you got a fucking Mothman 120 miles an hour coming behind you and going, I told you to fucking stay out. Never bite a verbal. So I have experienced the whole crisis situation, not just then. Every moment of our lives is a crisis situation. You have to make the decision. It's my fucking birthday. I'm 27 November. 11/27/69. Let's not forget the 1969. It starts with a 1, and then you've got, which is like what, an ace? Let's go for an ace of fucking, let's go for an ace of swords right here. Let's get some real fucking energy going. And then you go to the 9. There's a 9, that's active, it's right there at the top. Then the 6, that is complacency. I mean, not complacency, that's comfort. You're in a good place. And then you go to another 9. 1969. It's my birthday. And it's a full moon. 27 November 2023. It's a huge full moon. And I put in the time, and I put in the thought, and I put in the considerations. I'm going to speak German. Stat pro ration voluntas. The only way I can speak that German word is to act like it's a Latin church song. It means, let my will stand for a reason. And that when I learned that phrase, it fell right in line with one I'd already been fucking living by and had muttered to myself many a time. Nothing without a reason. So we look around us and see what is happening. What is happening? It's my birthday. We're in a portal. We don't know what's on the other side of that goddamn door, but we're going to walk through it because we know something's there, because Rambo said nothing is over. Nothing is over. He's driving $8 million tank, maybe 3. Vietnam. I can't even hold a job as a gas station attendant. Nothing is over. It's the way I look at nothing is over. I take it from him and I say, you know, and I've seen it happen so many times before. I've said, nothing is over. Just because something ends doesn't mean you die. Something ends and you find yourself in a street and somebody comes up on a bike and looks and says, hey, you want to be in Smoking Ghost? And you say, what? And he says, it's the next greatest Chinese international rock band you ever heard of. You don't have to sound like Axl Rose. And you look at him and you say, to the bar to take you get nothing done. You could be mine. And I say, well, you know, I really can't do Axl Rose. Not in the studio where all the neighbors can hear. And he says, you're hired. And something that was just ended. I was just fired from a job walking down the street in China. I just gave a speech in Chinese to fucking people, but I'm a terrible teacher. After I gave the speech, the little stuff that I could speak at the time, the school, the leaders, they said, okay, you can leave. They just wanted the goddamn benefactors to see some white dude speaking Chinese so they'd give money and bring their kids to this program. So nothing ever ends. I left. I told my mother once when I was at San Jose State, I had no money. I had GI Bill. But there were loans available. Joke. Who would ever want to take a loan when you could learn at the library? Must be some way to take a test where they say you're okay without having to pay fucking $180,000 for college, whatever it is. I say, well, your mother says you saw something on the wall. Go somewhere. Get out of here. That's how Chuck Barris did it. And so you go. And you say there will be nothing for me when I get back. Let's give it a shot. See how things go. Nothing is over. You can change the energy level in you and still be able to share the rage without feeling it yourself, just broadcasting it. Back off 6 feet. So I know nothing is over. So I walked in today The only thing I was missing was my hat. But I didn't need it. Sat down. Yep. You want to talk? Sure, why not? Feeling like R.P. McMurphy sitting in front of Dr. Speedy's desk. What is it you want to talk about? I quit. It's my birthday. We're heading on into the next level. I watched the man have a weird look like most people do when they don't know if I'm joking or not. And I think he kind of sweat. He said, why? And I said, because I see this falling apart. I wrote this down last week ready for this day because this is the day. I said, I'm still young and strong and healthy. I need to go out and find people like me. I said, this is the thing with me. I'm looking at it. And I said, the rats still able to swim are jumping ship. I gotta get out of here. I'm having a birthday today. And even though all those years, from the very beginning when I first ran into this first numerology chick that caught me across the road, she looked normal and she was a college student. She didn't even look like a hippie. I said, I'm supposed to enjoy this life. Let's go. Not everybody can do this. Only those who decide that they can get away with it. I mean, I was supposed to be a priest and then a psychologist. I learned early on what it is to be able to... It sounds sad. I know it is, but it's kind of necessary. I learned what it is to be able to distance myself a little bit from this thing. This ship is going down. And I have to find some place where I can go. Where there are others that really aren't allowed back on the land anymore after riding out through the fog on that ship of fools. And the Lord came and took. And the Lord came and took all the old souls away. There were still some out at sea, so we kept watch. The Lord put us here so that we could keep the evil old ways out. Anything we can do to keep you? Yeah. I think I said it all already. It's a crisis situation. I just don't mean to be working the rest of my life in the same damn thing when there's nothing more to get out of it at some point. It doesn't work for everyone. At some point, you need to step outside of the glass elevator. And those up there that see you stepping out of it, down there, they'll catch you. It's time to find somebody like us that likes doing what we do. And that, according to Jimmy Ho, is the art of life.